Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We suffered a massive rain event on Wednesday night, receiving 40 millimeters of rain in a few short hours. I was honestly surprised by how well the regenerative fields walked the next morning, especially considering how wet our soils already are. The storm was well forecast and we managed to get all our winter cultivations completed ahead of the rain. Therefore, our focus this week has moved to preparing machinery for autumn drilling, and we have started loading spring wheat going out for ergot cleaning. In addition, this week I presented an introduction to regenerative agriculture for NatWest Bank. Very like the request from John Walton in the comments on this channel, there were questions afterwards about how regenerative margins stood up next to conventional. So let's take a look. I've used a sale price for feed wheat of £180 a tonne plus a £70 milling premium, giving a gross price of £250 per tonne. For the light land, which we managed to plant earlier and didn't suffer from any ergot. For the regenerative wheat, again, it got the milling premium with a protein of over 14%, but it did suffer from ergot. So I've subtracted £30 per tonne for an ergot cleaning charge, giving a net price of £220 a tonne. I have used actual variable costs for this harvest 23, and the fixed costs are all machinery operations charged at contracting rates. Output uses actual tonnages from individual fields averaged over the whole block. As you can see from the 44 hectares conventional block of spring wheat achieved an average yield of 4 tonnes per hectare. Sales came to £42,000, variable cost £24,000 and fixed costs of a further £12,000, giving a gross margin of £6,200 or £140 per hectare. In comparison, the regenerative fields achieved a lower yield of 2.9 tonnes per hectare over 84 hectares, with sales of £50,000, variable costs of £22,000 and fixed costs of £25,500, giving a gross margin of £2,000 or a rather thin £23 per hectare. If we were able to avoid the ergot cleaning charge, we would be able to add £90 per hectare, resulting in a gross margin of £110 per hectare, much closer to the conventional of £140. However, this is the reality of establishing spring wheat in a late wet spring. So let's go with that number. An additional question asked by NatWest Bank related to the working capital. As you can see here, conventional spring wheat requires input costs of £539 per hectare, whereas the regenerative requires only £261. That includes all the micronutrients, which is less than half the working capital required to grow the conventional. However, the story does not stop there. For the regenerative crops, as they are grown under AB15 low input cereals, and we can add an extra £236 per hectare. I can hear viewers' comments that this is a subsidy payment and should be removed. However, I view these payments as a conversion support, similar to organic conversion support. I anticipate soils will take 5 to 6 years to return to self-supporting soil health, and measuring how long that journey takes is part of this experiment. As you can see, the extra £236 improves the gross margin to £260, which already exceeds the £140 of conventional. However, we don't have to stop there. We also have SW6 over winter cover crop, which receives £124, less the growing and establishing costs of £66.50, which gives a net return of £57.50. Because some of the crops were grazed and some weren't, I haven't included any grazing income in this comparison. I've just left the costs in. The extra 57.50 results in a gross margin climbing to £317 per hectare. Finally, we have carbon trading. Last year we achieved £108 per hectare average, so we can add this final element, generating a gross margin of £426 per hectare. Old school farmers could comment that these three elements, the AB15, SW6 and carbon trading, aren't proper sales. However, I would reply that I'm responding to market demands. I see these as market demand for environmental service and supply chain demand for carbon certification. As such, I'm delivering land use that society is willing to pay for. As such, they are genuine sales. In a recent meeting with a land agent, he suggested a return of £350 per hectare was a fair return net of costs for broad acre environmental options like AB15, the legume fallow, now NUM3 under SFI, and the new AHL3 grassy field corners. However, as I see it, one benefit of this regenerative cropping cycle is that food is still being produced, arable skills and machinery are being retained and utilised across the farm, and land continues to be used in production, which in our experience is better than trying to bring land back into production after a period of fallow. I look forward to your comments and thoughts. Thank you for watching. Please give this video a like, subscribe and click on the little bell to get notifications of when our videos go live, usually Monday evenings. See you next time. Bye.